St. Augustine doesn't play by the rules. One moment you're watching dolphins from the Bridge of Lions, and next you're weaving past trolley tours downtown, and by evening you're listening to music on the beach with people who feel like lifelong friends. That's the real St. Augustine, historic, unpredictable, and filled with kind of magic you can't capture in a photo. It's why I moved here. And there's a shift happening here most people don't notice at first. It's the kind of thing that can completely change how you see the city once you're living in it. Most people show up with a picture in their head. Cobblestone streets, beaches, endless sunshine. Reality sets in fast. Just last month, I had a client fly in picturing a laid-back beach town. Within an hour, they were stuck in construction traffic, caught in the school bus pickup rush, and circling downtown on a Friday night in August with every tourist in town. They looked at me and said, "This is all the same city?" St. Augustine is layered, historic and modern, peaceful and busy, local and tourist all at once. And the people moving here now are reshaping the city in ways that surprise almost everyone. That's where we'll start, because that shift is the key to understanding what life here is really like. For years, St. Augustine was seen as a quiet escape, a coastal town where life moved about as fast as the tide. That generation is still here, and honestly, they've shaped so much of what we love about St. Augustine. But if you think that's the only vibe, you're at least 10 years too late. Today, it's a mix. The real locals still throw porch parties, but now you'll see retirees starting a new chapter here and see young families choosing new construction communities thanks to those top-ranked school districts. Remote workers are filling cafes that didn't even exist 5 years ago. One couple I work with moved down from Atlanta for exactly that. They traded a cramped condo for a new build with a home office and cut their commute to zero. The energy carries through the weekends too. At the farmers market, produce stalls sit right next to local makers and food startups. By night, once the tourists head out, the vibe shifts to locals grabbing oysters in a friend's backyard, catching a show at the amphitheater, or slipping into those tucked away bars and coffee shops you'd never find on a visitor's map. And here's the thing, if that mix of history and fresh energy is what you're chasing, your neighborhood choice matters. If you pick the wrong fit, your daily life won't look anything like you imagined. Pick the right one, and you'll wonder why you didn't make the move sooner. That's what our team helps people figure out every week. And you'll find our information in the description below when you're ready to start your search the right way. Downtown is mostly picture perfect. Cobblestones underfoot, Spanish balconies, overhead music drifting from the plaza on a Friday night. You can walk everywhere, which feels magical until festival season hits and parking turns into a scavenger hunt. Living here means trading your car keys for sneakers most days. But weekends bring crowds, one-way streets, and traffic that makes locals dodge downtown altogether. Cross the bridge and you're on Anastasia Island, where life slows down to beach time. Mornings start with a bike ride on A1A, sandy flip-flops pile up at the door, and your go-to seafood spot probably knows your order before you sit down. The flip side, summer traffic can back up on the Bridge of Lions, and if a boat's coming through, you're not moving. You'll be parked there watching dolphins, hopefully, like it or not. Further south, St. Augustine South, is pure small-town energy. Neighbors wave on dog walks, kids ride bikes till dinner, nobody's fussing over HOA rules. It's laid-back riverfront Florida. But you'll drive for dining, shopping, or the beach. Translation, it's peaceful until you need groceries. Up in Palencia and World Golf Village, it's master plan comfort with resort-style living. Think golf carts in the driveway, kids in the pool, newer schools nearby, easy living with space and amenities. But that also means a 20 to 30-minute drive to downtown or the beach. And on weekends, A1A and I-95 backups can turn even simple trips into a crawl, especially during festival season and weekend shopping traffic. That's the real difference. It's not the houses, it's the flow of daily life. Downtown might give you a 2-block commute, but your weekend guests will circle for parking like sharks. Anastasia Island means ocean breezes, but you'll have to plan the best times to head to the mainland for essentials. Palencia, tons of space, but longer drives for concerts, restaurants, and beaches. Every neighborhood rewrites your routine. So which vibe fits you? Downtown buzz, beach mornings, or resort-style neighborhoods? Drop it in the comments below. I want to know where you'd land. Transportation, more bike lanes and better ride shares help, but traffic is still traffic. The Bridge of Lions backs up every time a boat passes, A1A crawls in summer, US 1 clogs at rush hour. Locals don't just know where to live, they know when to drive. That's why your neighborhood choice matters. It's not just about the style of your home, it's about how you'll move through the city every single day. What catches most people off guard in St. Augustine is the real cost of living. On paper, homes look affordable compared to Miami or Tampa, but the extras, they add up fast. Insurance is the big one. Near the water, premiums can double or triple. In Davis Shores, I've seen quotes over $5,000 a year. And you walk 2 blocks inland, it's half that. Same sunshine, totally different bill. And then there's new construction. New codes mean homes are elevated, newer roofs, and modern systems. Some communities even pitch themselves as resilient, showing off their stormwater drains and stronger bills like it's the latest feature upgrade. HOAs and CDDs are an added expense. In spots like Palencia and World Golf Village, you get the pools, the landscaping, the clubhouse, but you also get a bigger monthly bill. Downtown or south, you skip the fees, but trade them in for older homes, no amenities, and the potential for floodproofing and constant upkeep. And lifestyle changes the math too. On Anastasia Island, you'll pay more for insurance, but the trade-off is that you're steps from the beach. In Palencia, you'll save on coverage, but tack on extra time and gas for every trip into town and the beach. The biggest mistake? Budgeting only for the house. I've had clients fall for a waterfront view only to realize their flood insurance matched their car payment. Around here, cost doesn't just hit your wallet, it decides how you actually live day to day. And once you understand that trade-off, you can finally focus on the rewards, because the truth is, this balance is what opens the door to food, culture, and traditions that make this city worth every penny. Here's life after the budget stuff. This is the payoff. St. Augustine isn't just for history buffs or weekend visitors. The real charm is in the everyday ways locals live. The food scene has flipped. Forget fried shrimp baskets. Now it's Odd Bird's Kitchen serving Latin flair bites and cocktails. Catch 27 turning fresh seafood into artful plates, and breweries tucked into old warehouses. Even the Saturday farmers market feels like a test kitchen. Grab a dish in March and it might be the next big restaurant by summer. And it's not just the food. The amphitheater pulls national acts, but the Saturday market is just as loved. Neighbors chatting, sourdough gone before 10. Big stage, small town vibe, they both matter here. Cafes become music spots, and First Friday Art Walk turns the streets into an open air gallery. It's not staged for tourists, it's the city creating for itself. Traditions still anchor the city: fall oyster roasts, spring porch concerts, and festivals mixing Spanish and Menorcan roots with modern flavor. Even the datil pepper, grown almost exclusively here, has become a signature ingredient at many of the restaurants. And trust me, once you've tried datil pepper on anything, you'll never forget it. So what would pull you in more? The food, the live music, or the festivals? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see what feels most like you. St. Augustine is a city of historic charm, modern energy, incredible food, and neighborhoods that shape how you live every single day. The key is finding the corner that feels like your version of home. That's what my team does. We help people match lifestyle, neighborhood, and budget so they don't just buy a house, they actually land in the right fit. So if you're serious about making St. Augustine your next chapter, let's make sure you land in the right spot, not just any spot. Call, text, or email. Our info is in the description below, and we're here when you're ready. And before you go, check out the playlist on your screen for more deep dives into neighborhoods, costs, and what life really feels like here. Because living in St. Augustine isn't just about picking a house, it's about choosing a life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.